Statement released by LSK today, Parliament is unlawful and should not conduct business beyond the 12th of October. Tell us more on this.
Thank you and good afternoon, Michelle Ngele Odhiambo. Parliament has become unconstitutional and therefore unlawful for failure to enact the two-thirds gender rule as required by the Constitution. The Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya has already issued an advisory to the President of the Republic of Kenya to dissolve Parliament. There is a possibility, as it has been his behavior in the recent past, on the part of the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, not to comply with the Constitution and the directive of the Chief Justice. It is on that backdrop, therefore, that we have informed the people of Kenya that effective the 12th of October, when 20 days from the 21st of September elapse, Parliament will have no business whatsoever occupying Parliament buildings. It will therefore be incumbent upon Kenyans, led by the Law Society of Kenya, to occupy Parliament and to prevent those individuals who have ceased being parliamentarians from trespassing in our property.
How did you arrive on this date, the 12th of October? I mean, critics and even legal analysts say that same clause of the Constitution that Chief Justice David Maraga used says the President is bound to dismiss Parliament, but within a reasonable time. The timelines were not specific.
Yes, indeed, the Constitution does not specify a reasonable time because the Constitution is a superior law. It was not the expectation of the people or the framers of the Constitution that anybody will violate the Constitution. However, courts of law have interpreted what reasonable time is supposed to be where an act is supposed to be performed under the Constitution. Reasonable time connotes a period between 14 days on the minimum and 21 days on the maximum. If you count 21 days from the 21st of September 2020, the 21 days will take us to the 12th of October, which effectively will be the date when Parliament will have ceased being lawfully constituted if the President would not have dissolved it.
Are you not dictating calendar on the court, however, considering this is a case that is in court, the government has sued the decision by Chief Justice David Maraga?
Not at all, Michelle, for several reasons. It is the responsibility of the Law Society of Kenya to provide legal guidance on the people of Kenya and in particular the government. And we must do this because it's quite evident that the advisors of President Uhuru Kenyatta often interpret the law upside down. And we are not dictating timelines because timelines are implied by the Constitution as interpreted by the law.
All right. Let's talk about what, Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi had to say here. And he said Parliament had been made a punching bag in this two-thirds gender rule because the onus of implementing the two-thirds gender rule as envisioned in the Constitution was the onus of the state as a body and not Parliament as an institution. It goes ahead to point out that, other institutions like Cabinet are not compliant with the two-thirds gender rule. Even judiciary itself has been singled out as not compliant to the two-thirds gender rule. And so if Parliament, is put as a punching bag, as he says, then how much more can other institutions come down for failure to implement this same rule?
Muturi is the typical schoolboy defense when listed in the list of noisemakers. It doesn't matter that somebody else was making noise. You're the one who is called upon to explain why you're making noise. But fundamentally, the state is constituted of three independent but interdependent arms: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The paramount role of legislation is given to the legislature. Is there a failure on the legislature? Yes. 2 bills have been brought before the floor of the National Assembly, and they failed to pass because the Speaker of the National Assembly did not ensure that the requisite majority was garnered to pass the bills. Has the judiciary performed its part? Yes. These matters have been in court time without number, resulting in the decision made by the Chief Justice on the 21st of September. Has the executive performed its role? I think it has.
All right,
several years ago, the President of the Republic of Kenya, as well as the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, implored upon parliamentarians to ensure that they pass this bill. The failure, therefore, is on parliamentarians.
I want to come back to you with this conversation, Harvey. Don't go too far. We'll be coming back there because we understand the LSK also wants the Interior Ministry to withdraw the security of members of Parliament and the senators following that advisory by Chief Justice David Maraga. Do stay tuned to News Desk. That conversation with the LSK President Nelson Harvey still coming after this short break. Don't go too far.
For a prime commercial plot, look no further. Soil Merchants Properties have amazing offers for plots right next to the Naivasha SGR station. The area has been opened up to new business opportunities boosted by development of the dry port. The title deeds are ready with water and electricity available, with all the amenities nearby. The area is ideal for hotel or go-down development. Get an 8-acre plot at 350,000 Kenya shillings for cash buyers or 395,000 Kenya shillings for installment buyers. Secure a plot with 30% deposit and the balance payable in 4 months. Welcome to our open day on 26th September 2020. SMS plot to 21595 for inquiries. Do not miss out on this great investment opportunity before the prices go up. Buy today, build tomorrow. For more information, call us on 0790 771677. Tiger County boasts of one of the largest and most equipped referral hospitals this country will have upon completion.
Our people here have a problem with cancer. We have also established for the same for diabetic patients. So we want those two to be our specialized area for this particular hospital.
Tumepata hospitali sasa, tutakuwa na shida, tutakuwa tunatibiwa hapo. We have now a modern funeral parlor.
Ni kusafi, si kama hizi zingine venye huwa inatoa ile harufu.
I want you to move around the country and tell me which one is better.
We have come up with a very modern amenity ward. Now it will cater for both the private and VIP.
My latest one is I want Kakamega town to be a city. Secondly, I want this town to be a medical city.
I feel like crying.
If our own country does not want us, where will we go? If our own country is killing us, who shall we run to?
Mwenye aliwa Chris, kama mimi napata nakata na meno yangu kweli.
Hizi bunduki ni za Kenya tunatumia. Ni za Kenya, taxes zenyu zenye mmelipa ndio bunduki tunakuja kuwaua nazo.
Kill the duck that lays you the golden egg. So how will you get a golden egg in the future?
0.970 million made out of the water business here.
This week on Kenya Connects.
Education is a sector that has been worst hit by COVID-19 global crisis.
Kenya alone, over 90,000 schools were closed this year. We have been so much concentrated on giving didactic teachings to students, but we don't give so much life skills.
So it's time to rethink education in terms of, does schooling have to take place in the physical building called a school?
Did we need to copy-paste another curriculum whose agenda we aren't very sure about, when we had a curriculum that would have gone down to fix?
It's marketed as competence-based.
The title itself is competent-based, but look at what is happening. Is it really competent?
Welcome back to News Desk. The Law Society of Kenya has given President Uhuru Kenyatta up until the 12th of October to dissolve Parliament as per the advisory by Chief Justice David Maraga, failure to which they say they will lead Kenyans in occupying Parliament buildings. LSK President Nelson Havi is live with us now. Havi, many have asked the question, though, will dissolving Parliament solve the problem? The problem here is implementation of the two-thirds gender rule. Some say perhaps we need a referendum to rectify that part of the Constitution, perhaps do away with it altogether. But will dissolving Parliament solve this problem?
Michelle Ngele and Kenyans, the question as to the propriety of inclusion of the two-thirds gender rule in the Constitution ceased being a contested issue on the day the Constitution was promulgated. The Constitution is not a suggestion. The Constitution has prescriptive demands that must be complied with. And these demands cannot be excused by the claim that we can go to a referendum and remove that clause on the two-thirds gender rule. But more fundamentally, this underscores the culture of impunity, the disregard of the law, in particular the principles of good governance as enshrined in Article 10 of the Constitution. And Kenyans must strike a blow against impunity once and for all, because if this is not done, we do not have any guarantee that we'll be able to do it in the near future, because we have the best constitution so far on earth.
Many have argued that we are not ready for an election. You cannot afford another election at this time. But the statement given by LSK today says the advisory by the CJ does not end the terms of the president, the governors or members of county assemblies, and will have no financial burden on the shoulders of the taxpayers. How realistic is that?
We are ready for a by-election. Look, vacancies occur day after day in the National Assembly and the Senate, and by-elections are ahead. But what is the explanation given by the National Assembly and the Senate? The explanation is that the IBC is not adequately prepared financially to hold a by-election. If that be a legitimate question, then on what basis will the IBC be adequately prepared financially to undertake a plebiscite in the manner intended under the BBI initiative? Look, these leaders must stop turning logic over its head. They must be forthright to the Kenyans, because Kenyans are the people with the sovereign power as far as this matter is concerned. To that end, therefore, the President of the Republic of Kenya must of necessity dissolve Parliament.
So that timeline, the 12th of October, should it lapse without the dissolution of Parliament, what will happen in your view?
We will occupy Parliament to ensure that these trespassers, who henceforth will be former parliamentarians, do not conduct any business there. We have called upon the international community, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, European Union, African Union, and all players that conduct business of the Republic of Kenya, that effective that day, the government will not have the sanction of the people insofar as Parliament is concerned, and not to transact. In the interim, we've asked the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Interior, to withdraw the security given to parliamentarians. We've also asked the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Treasury to cease remittance of salaries and allowances. And let me disclose to Kenyans, there are many law-abiding parliamentarians who are prepared to resign so that we don't end up with this eventuality. It is my expectation that many of them will resign in the take the advice of the Chief Justice and dissolve Parliament.
My final question to you, Havi, with your stand and LSK's stand clearly outlined, does the advisory by Chief Justice David Maraga undermine the decisions and proceedings of Parliament from now forward? What is the implication of the decision of Chief Justice Maraga? Effective the 12th of October 2020, Parliament will lack legislative authority. Any laws enacted, any oversight undertaken will be of no consequence. Does this undermine the authority of Parliament? No, it doesn't. Why do I say so? I say so because when advising the President of the Republic of Kenya to dissolve Parliament, the Chief Justice does not act as a judge. He acts as a delegate presenting the views of the people to another arm of the government. All right, many things. That is LSK President Nelson Havi there speaking to us after LSK released that statement today, giving an ultimatum to President Uhuru Kenyatta to dissolve Parliament by the 12th of October 2020, failure to which they will lead Kenyans to occupy Parliament buildings. In other news, Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua has told ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi to stop copying his